everyone, this is Nikki K and welcome to Beyond Astro K Podcast, where today I am bringing you the Aquarius full moon, which is happening on the 24th of July. Now this is the first Aquarius full moon. We have two actually, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on here? But we have two. But the first one is more, the themes and intentions that have happened when, we had the Saturn Jupiter conjunction on the 21st of December. So that was like a new beginning for a lot of us. And we also have a second Aquarius new full moon, which is happening in August. But that's going to be more like an ending that's happening. And I'll be definitely doing a video on that as well, so really listen out for that. But with this Aquarius full moon, I keep saying new moon, but with this Aquarius full moon, full moons are about endings, and it does really depend on what sign it is. But when it is, because it's an air sign, and when it's an air sign, the endings, it can feel very, how can I put this? It can actually feel really good because, air, they release things pretty well. A little bit like the water signs, like especially like Pisces. I'll say more Pisces than all of the other water signs. But still, because it's in Aquarius, it's more detached energy. And it's not to say that Aquarius is not emotional, they are, but it's just in a different way. All the signs are emotional, but they just, emote it differently to everyone else. So with this one, the energies that you planted, all the intentions that you set it, like last year in the 21st of December, it's going to feel like there was a new beginning, because it was like 0 degrees, which is a very critical degree. And also the next Aquarius full moon that we have is 29 degrees, which is another critical degree. So this is more like ending, but you're also initiating something new. So with this one, the themes that a lot of us felt when it was the Saturn Jupiter conjunction, it was like of a new beginning and ready to take up, when it came to like our basic needs and also our self-care. That would, it was also to do with like our emotions and making sure that, when it comes to like self-expression. This also, the themes of this also could be to do with like social gatherings, social justice, equality, as well as coming to an end of a cycle, moving forward. And also there was energies of like gaining new possibilities, and also, not forgetting knowing where our place is in the world, having order. A lot of lessons were definitely learnt as well, but this is all in a brand new, unique Uranus Aquarian way, or even time. So this is not like an ending of it, but just that something that you actually planned during then, it could actually come to full fruition. And if you did plan anything in December, or you set intentions, which I'm sure a lot of us did, if you did plan anything or set intentions, this could actually, and it didn't really work out, it could be an actual ending. And some of us during this full moon could actually want to be setting like new intentions. So, even though full moons are about releasing things that are no longer working, you can still, especially when you're doing your rituals, releasing something, writing down and releasing what you no longer need, or something that's no longer working, but also setting intentions of what you would like. Okay, so this new moon is going to feel quite strange. It can almost feel like a deja vu moment, like, oh my god, I swear this happened before, or why is this actually coming up again? We can also find during this new moon that things, things from like last year or even like January, they've come back again for us to revisit. So it will definitely feel a bit like a dream, like, oh, this is really weird, Other themes for this new moon is other themes that I've written about is, and also some things that I've actually felt is that, we could also want to get what we want, with some, but also this is a time of like emotional intelligence. Before I talk about this, some of the things I say, guys, it may feel like, what do you mean it's like emotional? What do you mean it's like cold? Because of the planetary actions that is happening in this, there is some emotional aspects as well, but also there's some cold ones. So that's why a lot of us, you could actually feel during this new moon like a bit like on edge. Don't know if you're coming or going. The emotion is there, but it doesn't feel like it's actually coming out. So this is what some of the themes that I feel that a lot of us can actually experience. So like emotional intelligence and our intuition would definitely be heightened, but we can also be extremely sensitive and come across as too proud to show it. The sun's in Leo, so it opposes the full moon. So it will, sun in Leo is about being seen, feeling glamorous, and wanting to change the world, wanting to be seen. Aquarius is about wanting to be heard, and Leo is about wanting to be seen. So, it is conflicting, but it's also sort of similar as well. We can also, be, Leos are very proud. The lions are very proud. They're very loyal, and it likes to have fun, works and plays hard, but also rests when it's needed. So some of the energies of this will definitely be highlighted, especially with the sun shining down on Leo. With the moon in Aquarius, it can a lot of us, if you are natal moon in Aquarius, you can come across as quite detached, but they are actually analyzing situations, and they will, this is about, their minds are always in the future, and how they definitely can progress themselves, and how they can actually be heard. There's like a huge desire with moon in Aquarius for, especially when it comes to like their future dreams and aims, it's going to be very strong. And this is also with this new full moon in Aquarius and the actions surrounding it, there's a huge intense emotions, but it can also be very complex, because there's a huge, remember this is a fixed sign, so there is a definite need to control things, like controlling the emotions, but also with a strong sense of duty of hard work, and also meeting responsibilities, because we have to remember that Saturn is in Aquarius, even though it is retrograde. When it comes to like energies, when it's concerning like business or personal relationships during this new moon, there is I feel as well that there's like a big energy of strictness, and during this full moon, but also like showing like devotion to a cause. Like communication is either going to be very verbal or written, and I won't be surprised if there's like a lot of communication through social media with this full moon, but the communication will be definitely be like blunt and also straight to the point. But I'll say that one good thing actually. So other themes and energies during this full moon, so that's like one of the sort of like general energies, but also there's other themes as well, because this moon is definitely to do with our emotions. So even though I've touched upon the moon in Aquarius, like the general sense of this, also because it's in Aquarius, there can be like tensions that we can actually feel left out in a relationship, because the moon is how we also connect with our partners, how we connect with people on a general daily basis. So with it being here, there can be like you or your partner could actually feel quite left out, because someone's, one of you or your partner's not really emoting well. Okay, so there's not going to feel a lot of emotional support. So, there is like a detachment in the air, which can lead to you having fun with someone else, like cheating, or, finding it through, drink, substances, drugs. And this energy is also very uncomfortable during this time. The energy will also be feeling very uncomfortable during this full moon, and because we're also not going to be feeling within our emotions, so something will definitely have to give, either through conversation or just make a clean break. So, but one of the good things about this is, we have Neptune, obviously, which is in Pisces, even though it doesn't really, it's semi-sextiles, which is like they're basically next door to each other. But what this actually will do for us during this full moon in Aquarius is, this will, one of the greatest gifts is like the full moon this is also going to be a very idealistic time. And, with our hopes and dreams that we've obviously been, thinking about from last year, December the 21st. So some of us actually may want to work alone, or, in solitude, and actually crave solitude. But also know that sometimes, working in a group and sharing ideas is also very great. Okay, so, and this will also there's another theme of that. There will be like shining light on, how we can work to like gain success. So this full moon in Aquarius is a mixed bag, but I think that if we try to sort of like remain in our hearts for the future of what can come, we can actually create miracles. But even though it is, even though it is a big release in what is happening, the release, I don't feel, it depends on what sign you are, because this full moon will definitely affect all the fixed signs. And if you're like early degrees, like if you're January Aquarius, April Taurus, July Leo, and October Scorpio, you're going to feel this energy the most. But regardless of what decan you are, you will still feel it, but just like the early decans will just feel it more intensely, more, just feel like, just feel it, we'll just feel it more intensely, basically. So, yes, I've also thought about, what we could also do during this full moon in Aquarius, especially when it comes to, using like essential oils. Now, this is a general, guys. I personally use essential oils. I feel that it really helps with grounding, energy, sleep, emotional stability. And, when you are doing like any type of rituals, whether it's a full moon or a new moon, you could actually feel quite alive, or you could just feel like really drained. So the essential oils that I am going to be using, which I use on a daily basis, is, frankincense. And frankincense is really good when it comes to like meditation, because it's very earthy, it's very grounding. It's like the king of essential oils. And yeah, it's the king of essential oils. That frankincense and lavender is really good. But this also, it gives a sense of like vision as well. So if you are doing like a meditation during this full moon, frankincense is so good. You can just put a drop in your hand and just inhale it, and you just immediately will feel definitely grounded. Also, eucalyptus is really good. You know, it helps with like the respiratory. It also helps fight in infections. Because one thing I've noticed with full moons, well, I don't know if you guys have as well, but you can, you know, sometimes, you know, even like before full moon happens, you know, sometimes you can just feel really tired, and sometimes your body just like really aches and you feel like a cold is coming. So, and when it does actually come the full moon, you know, some people can get an actual full-blown cold. So, you know, it's really good to like really prep your body before anything happens, especially if you're known to, you know, get like a cold during a full moon. So, you know, eucalyptus is king as well. Sandalwood, it helps with, you know, mental activity, also helps with fatigue and insomnia, which I'm sure a lot of us may have. And also any citrus oils, guys, any citrus oils, lemon, lime, sweet orange. What else am I thinking? Yeah, those are the ones that actually come to my head. They're really good. They help boost energy, you know, because, you know, sometimes full moons can actually drain us. So, you know, that's my sort of like 2 cents worth when it comes to essential oils. Obviously, guys, please check with your doctor or your health practitioner before you know, use essential oils, you know, or especially test it on yourself as well. But, you know, if you are not really sure, just speak to like your doctor, because what I'm actually giving you is just a guide and a guide of what I actually do. So I've also pulled out, guys, because I wanted to give you guys a little treat, because usually I do full moons, like when it's new moons I do like the signs, but when it's like full moons, because it's quite emotional and it's very releasing. And I suppose I'm working with like that whole Aquarian energy, so it's about, you know, switching things up a bit. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be doing, well, in the future, you just never know. But for today, I've pulled out some oracle cards for all the signs. So it's not specifically for a sign, it's just for everyone. It's just a general. So the first card I have, these oracle cards are actually, health cards, you know, but this is a general health. If you're in perfect health, fine, you know, feel free to just, I don't need to hear this. But if you're very intrigued or just want a bit of knowledge for this full moon, please listen ahead. So the first card I've pulled out is stretch, and it says, you know, thank you for staying by my side and motivating me to take excellent care of myself in all ways. So Aquarius, you know, with Saturn being an Aquarius, guys, it is to do with, you know, even when I listen to like the health aspect of Saturn being an Aquarius, it's about like, you know, the blood flow to the system, and it also rules the ankles. So one of the exercises that I remember reading, which it's really good, guys, it's really good to sort of like, you know, read up on what, you know, when Saturn enters a sign, how it affects your body. And one thing I remember seeing, and I do anyway, is stretching and doing sort of like low impact exercises, because, you know, the ankles is one of the most strongest parts of our body, and I think sometimes we just forget that. So, you know, this card is just saying stretch your body on a regular basis so that, you know, you help like blood circulation. Because, you know, I know some people that they're saying that how their hands feel really cold, and Aquarius, that's what it rules, that blood circulation. So stretching really helps, and it could be yoga stretching, it could also be eccentric stretching, or any type of like dynamic stretching is really good during this new moon. Stretching also helps calm the mind. It also helps you, you know, not only be flexible, but, you know, it relieves tension. And, you know, some of us might feel a lot of tension during this full moon. So yeah, stretching the body. The second card I have is sobriety. So it's saying, dear, you know, this is your guide, It could be God, it could be anyone. So dear, who's your guide? Thank you for adjusting my cravings in healthful directions so that I only desire life-affirming foods and beverages. Now guys, let's remember here, we are in Sun in Cancer. And, it's not been easy staying away from the sweets, okay? But with full moons also, another thing that we can do during this full moon is, releasing, it depends on where it is in your house. Yeah, look where Aquarius is in your house. But, a lot of people actually start to detox during the full moon. And, because they want to cleanse. Some people cleanse for 3 days, or they cleanse before. So sobriety is, especially when it comes to what you drink as well, because you want to feel quite clear-headed during a full moon. So this card is just about sobriety, affirming fresh foods, and sort of moving away from things that are not helping your energy as well. If you feel extra tired during this full moon, it's about looking at what you're eating and not staying away from it, but just adding more freshness into your meals. Forgiveness heals. So I am willing to forgive myself and others in exchange for what I really want, peace and health. During this full moon, a lot of us will be during this full moon, I come back to rituals because I believe that a lot of us may be doing a lot of rituals during this time. So one of the things that I do, if I remember to, is, write down who I need to forgive, and, just write down who I need to forgive and burn the paper. And full moons are really good for that. Full moons is about releasing and detoxing from things that we need away from us. So forgiveness is one of the main things that a lot of us, can be doing during this full moon. And it does heal. You do feel obviously sometimes you do feel very emotional, because you're writing down, you're writing down people's names, or you're writing down places that have hurt you in the past. And once you see it there, it can just bring up so many different emotions. So, forgiveness is what a lot of us are going to be needing during this full moon. And also, even if you're looking back from December on how things were and how they are now, of course, forgiveness is you could be forgiving the government, you could be forgiving people at your work, your boss, forgiving your partner, forgiving your ex-partner. This is a great time for writing down who you need to forgive, because you don't want to feel any negative energy within you, and you want to release it. Remember, this is Aquarian energy. It's not to say that Aquarians are, I don't need that. Aquarians do think and they do feel, but just that how they are on the outside, it may not look it. Remember, this is also fixed new full moon, and fixed is very much keeping things, holding on to things. So it will be very important during this full moon, with forgiveness. Organic foods. So, dear, thank you for supporting my desire to consume and use organic products. It's a great time to be, try and be as healthy as you can during the full moon. When we eat healthier, I won't say clean, because clean just means eating from the earth. It just means eating healthier foods. Instead of having biscuits and chocolates for dinner, just have, meat and veg. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Clean eating. It's just eating healthier. That's what it means. And if you are very lucky to have strict organic foods, by all means do it. Yeah. And if you cannot afford organic food, it's very simple. Just to get a bowl, put your produce in the water with white vinegar and lemon, leave it there for 20 minutes and scrub it, wash it out. there's organic there. So so this card message saying, eating organic foods, just try to be healthier, because you want to be cleansed, but you also want to see, brightly through the future. And what we consume is very detrimental, but we must try to. It's not you have to, try to. Remember, this is a guide. And the last card that we have, guys, is detoxification. And it's saying, thank you for cleaning up my body, mind and life so that I may apply and healthily live free of chemicals. Now, detoxification during this full moon in Aquarius, it could be anything. Yes, it is food, but also, we want to detox our body. So that is also to do with like drinking more water. Definitely helps, drinking lots of water. Also, having lots of, fresh foods, and, having more fruits. What else? Because my mind just goes to like water. My mind just goes to water. And, for some reason, we can tend to get really thirsty during a full moon. I don't know about you guys, feel free to like send me a message, but it does feel like, during the full moon, you can just feel more thirsty. So just like drinking, more water if you can, and, eating healthier, but also detoxing yourself away from people that no longer serve you. Detoxing, if you know that you're around, like, remember, Aquarius does rule groups and associations. It also rules, social activism. And, so it's not surprising that a lot of us, especially during from like December, that, more groups were formed. But some of the groups were not necessarily healthy. Okay, some of them weren't necessarily healthy. And I feel that a lot of us during this time may actually see that now. So, detoxification is also to detoxifying against, social media, not being on social media all the time. Also, seeing that there's certain people that we're surrounding ourselves with, groups, organizations, websites that we're just not really feeling it no more, because full moons are also about realizations. And yes, it is endings, but it's a realization of, I don't actually need this. I actually enjoy being by myself. I actually enjoy, having just a small group of people. When I'm in a group, I don't feel that I need to actually talk all the time. So there's going to be like a huge realization during this full moon. And I feel, full moons in general, it does depend on what the other planets are saying. But the full moons, especially I think this one, because of like the degree of the conjunction that we had, this is going to be quite huge. It's going to be quite huge. It feels like it's going to be quite huge on a global scale as well, because there were things that were put in place from December till now. And, I think everyone around the world is going to feel like this huge, like, this is not actually working. I don't actually agree with this. And I say that because, the full moon is next week, but you do feel the energies, we are in Cancer. We're just in the Cancer new moon. And, it does feel like there is this whole, it feels to me that everyone's really into their, like, emotions at the moment. And with full moons, it's like this, oh my God, this is not right. This is not really right. So with this detoxification, we're going to see a lot of that happening. And also, I feel that don't be surprised if you don't, I think don't be surprised if you don't really hear from people on social media or see certain people that you're used to seeing. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like lots of there can be some like arguments, some drama coming up, but don't be surprised if there's lots of like groups and associations actually being broken. Not in a rude way, but just like dissolving because it's just not working. So it's a detoxification on all levels, but when something is released, something is definitely going to be coming in. And I feel that because we are going into like Leo season, a lot of people are going to be seen more, and also a lot of voices are going to be more heard. But still I do feel a little bit sad, because there does feel like a sadness that is actually coming to this, because even though I'm talking about the themes that are happening during this, but there is like a huge sort of like ending happening. And also, even if I come back to the detoxification card, the endings, it may not feel, very tragic or even like on a global scale, but, independently, there's things that are coming to a huge, like an end, but also be like a release and a relief for a lot of us as well. So that's what I feel that can happen during this full moon. And detoxification, it doesn't just mean, like I said, it doesn't just mean detoxing your body. It means detoxing from things that are just even though you're in it, you don't want to be in it. Okay, so but one good thing I do feel that could happen as well is because we're in for the next 20 years, we are going to be in this whole Aquarian energy, and it's going to be very interesting. I think especially like this decade, because yesterday I was watching football. As you know, I'm in London. I was watching football, and England was playing against Italy, and I was and the English football team, it's not especially in my lifetime, because it always has been like black players, but this team is very young. They're very young, but they're also they're from a different generation. They're like Pluto in Sagittarius generation. So these young boys, they do not play. All of them are really good. They're young guys, but they're all good, and you can see that there's this whole they're very much a team. It's not like one's playing against each other. They're like a team, even when they're playing football. And it was very Aquarian. Guys. It just embodied that whole like Saturn Jupiter conjunction of this is what the future's gonna be. So it's a mixed team. You have black guys and you have white guys, but it's very mixed, and you also have mixed race guys as well, very, very diverse. And when they were playing, they scored very quick, and it was like really exciting. So everyone got very like, oh my god, England's gonna win this. But then towards like the middle and the end, things just got really bad. There's a lot of cheating going on. I'm just gonna put it out there. There was a lot of when you play football, it's not an easy game anyway. So a couple of the Italians, they got yellow cards, but some of the in the end, they both scored. It was 1-1, and in the end it was penalties. And sort of like England was getting the lead, but then after Italy won, and the three guys that took the penalties from England team, one of them was 19, and they got the three of them missed penalties, and they got so much racist abuse. And you would in the UK denies racism. But when you deny, it doesn't really fly, does it? It doesn't really fly. So what's happening now is that the UK, I even think even in America, they're starting to see what actually black people actually experience in the UK. which is a shame because black people has always experienced racism, but it's just that it's just been hidden. It's really sophisticated, the racism here. So what's happened is that some of the footballers, he's 19 and he has got so much racist abuse on his Instagram page, he's actually deleted it. And it's really sad. It's so sad. So that just sort of like highlights, and also, with this country, it's got a long way to go because this is a Capricorn country and its moon is in Cancer, and we are in the new moon in Cancer. So obviously everyone was in their emotions, and the rising sign for this country is Libra. So it appears very, it's all about looks, it's all about class, but also it appears one way, but it's actually not. Emotionally, the British are very sensitive, but on the outside it's very reserved, it's very conservative. It's really strange that the new moon's in Cancer and it happened, but anyway. So obviously this country has a long way to go, but still I think that time is actually coming because we all need to appreciate everyone's differences. We all need to appreciate that, sometimes we lose in a game and sometimes we win. But even if you lose, you don't have to racially abuse someone, and this is what's happening. And I'm sure in America, a lot of, if my American listeners are listening, I'm sure a lot of you are, I'm sure now that you guys are very much aware of what's going on. And, Meghan Markle, she, highlighted this in a very Leo way, very classy Leo way. So what's happening now is Leo is going through what America has gone through, but and also because it's so weird because it's because of social media, and this whole conjunction is highlighting so much things. And Aquarius does rule social media. It's in the 11th house. It's all about groups getting together, groups defending each other. But one good thing about this was on Twitter, everyone was behind those 3 black kings. Everyone was behind them. Yes, we got some people that, uneducated people that, couldn't help themselves, but still it was lovely to see, because they're young and they'll learn from this, but they are kings, So what this Aquarian energy is showing us was this something that happened in December, and it's coming to that sort of ending now. Yeah, it's coming to that sort of ending, because with this whole this conjunction, it was a time of like really, there's lots of like communication going on, but there's something that didn't really happen. There's something that didn't really like really begin too much. And I feel that we may even see it, and it may be because of the squares to Saturn and Uranus. I know a lot of Taurians are feeling very uncomfortable about this, but it's essential. So there's, especially in this country, there's a lot of uncomfortableness going on. But sometimes when we are very uncomfortable and we seek things to stay the same, it's because change is coming. And, I couldn't tell you if change is coming quick or if change is coming bad. It's just that change is coming. And whether I don't like it, or whether you don't like it, or whether the world doesn't like it, there's nothing we can actually do. Okay? So, and another side note is that this energy is in the tarot is the ace. No, the ace is the ace, but it is also the Fool card. It's also the Fool card. So when we had it in December, the number was the, not the High Priestess. It was the Empress card. The Empress card we had when it started the 21st, and the Empress card is about self-care. It's also a very fertile card. It's also a Taurian card, so things were very slow. But also, the Empress card is to do with, hard work, self-care, taking care, beautifying us. So it's very Venus, it's very leisurely, things are a little bit slow, but also, it's also to do with children as well. It's also to do with children, because another thing, guys, one of the footballers, Marcus Rashford, he actually helped a lot of children this year, because they weren't going to get fed. When it came to like free meals, it was decided by that they were not going to get it, and he campaigned so much. He's a Scorpio. He campaigned, and a lot of children were fed, and that really went with that whole Empress theme on the 21st of December, because 2 and 1 is 3. So that was the whole Empress, taking care of kids, but also we need to take care of ourselves, but also it's about hard work. It was a very like Venus time, but obviously there was things boiling under the surface. Now we are in the number 1. The number 1 is the Fool, so there's a new beginning. We may not know or see where we're going or how things are going to be, but this is just a new beginning, and we're going to start seeing progress happening. And because it's fixed energy, progress can be slow, but also because this is Uranus, and the Fool is a Uranus sign, we're going to hold our head up high, and we're going to proceed forward, and we're going to put on our best clothes, and we're going to proceed forward. This whole Aquarian energy, this full moon in Aquarius, and the conjunction we had, is showing us also that this is a new dawn, it's a new day, and and there's a lot that we're not going to like. There's a whole lot that we're not going to like, but we may have to we're just going to have to get used to it. All we love, all we know. I personally love to go to the shops to buy clothes, but everything's moving online. And yes, it's an irritation, but it's just like, okay, this is how it's going to be. Let me try and work with it. This Aquarian energy for the next 20 years is showing us we have to work with what we have. If we don't like something, especially if we don't like a job, if we don't like our relationship, if we don't like how we look, we have to change it. But on like a worldly scale, if there's things that are set to improve our lives and we still don't like it, there's nothing we can do. When it comes to ourselves and our way of thinking and the way, how we view ourselves, that is all up to us. So I do feel that this full moon, it's a new beginning, and obviously new full moons are only for, they're only for 2 weeks, but I still feel that this energy will linger. And also when it comes to like the second full moon in Aquarius, it's going to be 29 degrees. That's when it's going to be like a whole new energy as well. But we're not going to forget this in a hurry, even if it does feel like nothing's really happening. Okay, so guys, that was my Aquarius full moon energy message for the collective. I hope you like this, this I just spoken about. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and feel free to leave me like a voice message as well. And also check out my social media, which I have. And yes, thank you very much for listening, guys, and I'll speak to you guys very soon. Take care. Bye.